What is up? What's up? What's up? What is going on, everybody? This your man Dre Mac coming to you again with another episode of the Dre Mac Show. 7:30 in the morning Central Time, 8:30 on the East Coast and on the West Coast. Get up! The early bird gets the worm. So it's time to get up, get ready for work, and while you're doing that, listen to a little bit of Dre Mac. Okay, today's episode, I'm going to discuss the Acolyte in the reviews that has been coming in. Not favorable, nonetheless. It is not good. And I wanted to actually point out, is it being review bombed or is there a legitimate gripe when it comes to this show? So, of course, I'm going to talk about it. I got a couple of articles that I'm going to go over, but the Rotten Tomato scores and in all of that, I'm going to go over with you guys. So, you know, again, we're going to see how this goes because, like I said, I think there's a mix of both. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say it's just all one thing, but I think that there's a mix of both when it comes to uh, being review bomb because you just don't like who's on screen, you think it's agenda being pushed, whatever, and a mix of some storytelling that is not being well received by Star Wars fans, and plus Star Wars fans are hypercritical of Disney. You know, shout out to Chillmonger who points that out a lot. So hope you guys are happy. Hope you guys are healthy. Shout out to my boss, the Celtics. This hat is not working. Shout out to my boss, the Celtics, for winning the championship last night. I told y'all, and everybody at work, I told y'all, 4-1 split in Dallas. Come home, take the championship. I should start betting. Should be a betting man, like the gambler. But anyway, hope you guys are happy. Hope you guys are healthy. Shout out to my man Heavy Gan over at the Heavy Gan channel. But you already know how I do it. The real question is,
Wait a minute. You're telling me the video's over?
well, that didn't go as planned. Oh snap! Yeah, and the one thing I love about running a live show compared to when I record different videos and stuff like that, which I will have a video for you guys later on today, just a single video, a little smart. Like I kind of been doing that after I get off the show. I kind of like pick a subject, you know what I'm saying, and kind of talk about it. You know what I mean? Just a short video and all of that. So I will continue to do that. I kind of love that, but in a live show, I can't cover up that. I can't edit that, so I kind of love how that worked. You know what I mean? Let me see who's all up here. Who's up in the house today? What's up, Jared? What's up? Good morning. Good morning, my man. Torrent Rain Reloaded. What's up? What's up? My man was hanging around with Tyreek and the She. You know what I'm saying? Looking at all them cronies getting butter biscuits. What's up with it? Andre Ware, good morning, good morning, good morning. My sister Pam is up here. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Princess up here. Good morning, Princetta. Eric Shaw, good morning. What's up? What's up? What's up? Jared says up here. Jared said it's being review bomb. Don't fall for the fake Star Wars fan outrage. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff today. Tracy Woods, good morning, good morning, good morning. It did work. I did. That's kind of like what? Yeah, I hit the wrong button. Oh man, I do too, Andre. I do too. Hey, good morning, Michael Johnson. Good morning, Dre. As a Lakers fan or a LeBron fan, I'm sick. I'm glad. I'm glad too. You know what I'm saying? But being both, I'll just play it. I'll play it. I've been a Lakers. I literally been a Lakers fan. This is how long I've been a Lakers fan. So I grew up in Kansas City, but we used to get WGN, which is a Chicago-based network, right? On cable, we got it on cable, and like in the back in the day, I remember watching literally Jordan's Bulls when they sucked. You know what I mean? And Jordan was the only highlight versus the Boston Celtics. And as a kid, that's when I fell in love with basketball. And then they came out with Jordan versus Bird later on. Of course, after Father's Day, you're on a 63-point game, uh, and all of that. You know what I mean? So, it ever since then, and one of my favorite Boston Celtics besides, well, Paul Pierce went there. Of course, he went to KU. But one of my favorite um Boston Celtics of all time was D Brown. And when D Brown won the dunk contest with that ramp, I used to rock the ramp back in the day. I had the D Brown ramp ready to go. So you know what I mean? So yeah, been a big fan of the Boston Celtics since then. So you know what I mean? So Boston, Chicago, they're both my teams. Boston, Chicago, it don't matter. I just want to see both of them win. Unless they're in the playoffs together and then I'm torn. Oh my God, I'm torn. I don't even pick. I just let it play out. I thought it worked kind of like F that show just started. Right. The same exactly the same YouTubers who are pissed off, they're gonna watch it today. And one of the guys who during the old Jonathan Majors trial from Forbes who blocked me because I said that he was being biased and I pointed out his biasness, you know what I mean? Blocked me, made a whole video, you know what I'm saying, going on the Acolyte, which I can see. And like I said, two things could be true. They could be review bombing, but there's also a portion of storytelling that a lot of people, especially the ones now where we're living in this hyperbolic time frame where you can't do anything. We're like that with T'Challa. We see what they're doing with T'Challa. That's why we're mad. You know what I mean? But with Star Wars, they're mad about the IP itself and what are you doing with the IP since it went to Disney, and it's been like that forever. But people act like they loved the Phantom Menace, Clone Wars, and Revenge. Well, Revenge of the Sith is totally different because that's a masterpiece in storytelling. But people, those same Star Wars fans, before it went to Disney, when they turned around and did those movies, did not like those movies when I remember. They didn't like those movies when they came out. So a lot of people be, you know what I mean, be just saying stuff and like, oh man, ever since Disney did this, and Disney, y'all was the same. A lot of these same people didn't like that either. So, you know, but again, I'm old enough to be able to see both sides. Mr. Guys, good morning. Good morning to you. Good morning to you, and you. So let me I want to see if I can pull, because I pull up the Acolyte review on this is what I want to show too. Darth Salty was good. The power of one, the power of two, the power of Nanny. That was the time that they dug up the corpse of Star Wars. It killed it for the second time after December 17th, 2017. Okay. I mean, they hated the prequels, the sequel, and the television show. Same folks that did not like the Mandalorian. Like I said, I'm not the biggest. I'm not even gonna sit up here and act like I'm the biggest Star Wars fans on the face of the planet, because I'm not. A lot of stuff I'm casual with because there's so many books, comic books, video game tie-ins, television show tie-ins, all of this stuff over a course period of time. You know what I mean? So, you know, there's a lot of stuff. I remember when Clone Wars came out, a lot of people wasn't riding Clone Wars because they was like, this is a cartoon, until stuff started integrating from the Clone Wars into live action. And it was like, wait a minute, hold up. You know, maybe I do like this. Don't you touch my Star Wars. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I think besides DC fans, I think Star Wars fans are the worst. You don't hear this out of Star Trek. But I think DC fans are probably the worst next to Star Wars fans. You know what I mean? And I don't know. But let me do this. I'm going to share my screen real quick. And Let me. I'm just. This was just. I was just googling the Acolyte review. This is how this kind of started. I was googling the Acolyte review and look at it in this. Hold on. Let me change this and let's get this up. All right. So IMBD. This is audience scores. Gave it a 3.6 out of 10. Which this is when I know that it's being review bombed. Just to me, I know it's being review bombed now because there's stuff that's way worse than this. We're not talking about absolute garbage pail juice, trash. There's way worse than this that got higher scores than this. And then the Rotten Tomato scores are 84%. So I know now that people are just review bombing it just to be review bombing it. You know what I mean? And this is after 3 episodes now. I will admit, and you could go in, if people could go and see my Ahsoka reviews. After 3 episodes, I was like, this is boring. I got it on, it's on film. I can't hide from or anything. I was bored. I didn't think the story was bad. It was just boring. I'm like, something got to go. The dialogue, something don't fit. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it did not fit until it ramped up. But once it ramped up, I was on board. I was like, okay, I'm good now. The stuff with Anakin and all that, I gave it time. And then by the end of it, I was satisfied. You know what I mean? I watched The Mandalorian. There's part of The Mandalorian that was boring, and we're just walking around with Baby Yoda at the time. In Mando, that were boring, but I still like the series. It opened up new because Mando, you know what I'm saying, is an original character. That story is completely original. To talk about the story of Mandalorian, the Mandalorians, and what we got towards season 3. You know what I mean? But everybody loved it. And majority of it because you had a toy to sell, which was Grogu. And once you got Grogu, then you already know, oh man, we got something here because now we got this toy to sell. And everybody loved, oh man, he's so cute. You know what I mean? But technically, a lot of the story was boring at times. Not saying that it was bad, it was boring. You know what I mean? Because we're just walking around with Grogu and you know what I'm saying? This is the baby. This is not the Babysitters Club. I can't think of the yeah. But anyway, I still liked it though. I still liked it because I gave it time to be able to tell its own story. And to me, because Dave Filoni is a part of this show also. And his storytelling is different. I believe that we're watching this from perspectives. We're watching this from May's perspectives, Uni's perspective, and the Jedi's perspective, which to me, ever since I watched the Clone Wars, I always thought, matter of fact, it didn't even start the Clone Wars, the Phantom Menace. The Jedi Order is trash. I'm gonna be real. In the Clone Wars, especially the Revenge of the Sith, dude, the Jedi Order is dead wrong. You're in this fascist cult that that tells you not to have feelings for your loved ones and all of that because it grows attachment and you could go to the dark side and all of this and all of that, and then wonder why the person, the chosen one, flipped this shit. Like, let's be real. You tell me that I can't really, be there for first of all, I can't get none. That'll have a man all up in his feelings. Then once you do, I can't tell nobody. You know what I mean? And then I got Padme right here. Padme is pregnant. I'm seeing premonitions of her dying. I can't do anything about it. I'm getting rejected to be just a Jedi Master, but y'all just let anybody be Jedi Masters. You know what I'm saying? According to the old Republic, you know what I mean? Y'all literally, come on, dog. Like, come on. Like, if you really want to keep it real, the Jedi Order is not all what it's cracked up to be. There is cracks in the armor. You know what I mean? So I've always looked at the Jedi Order sideways. You know what I mean? I think that's probably why I didn't get it really. I like Star Wars, but I never really got deep into it because they try to make the Sith like they ain't got no viable reason to be pissed off at y'all. Y'all literally policing everybody's. Somebody put snapshot taking children from their family while they're kids to teach them because they're force sensitive. Why? To fall in your order, to follow what you want me to do. If that ain't cult like, I don't know what is. It sounds like it's a cult. It's a cult. Now, let me tell you this. This is the reason why I say two things could be true. There could be bad storytelling, right? There could be bad story. There can be bad storytelling. There also be storytelling that you're not used to, that we need to let the story actually play out. I got to let the story entirely play out before I can say that it's bad storytelling or it's bad writing. Especially when you have children. And somebody mentioned, I think the guy for Force, and I'm going to bring that up, talking about the children's dialogue in this just did not make sense. You know what I mean? But I think we're looking at it from perspectives. But again, that's just me. Yeah, that's just me. But anyway, just look at this. This is Klingon Force, or I don't know what it is. Just listen to what he wrote. Okay, well, it has stained all over from the. It has stained all over from the start. Laughable. They've labored to turn this into a female franchise again. When I was getting a lot of heat for my video where I was talking about, even with creative characters, they still don't like us. You know what I mean? And the main thing here is not the story. Not saying that not saying that I'm just going to pick him and he's the basis of what I'm talking about. But just for this line alone, that they labor this into a female franchise, it's as audience of what's left of them. They continue down a path the very little population wants. That automatically tells me that you watched this and you went in with a bias because there was a female lead. For one, that's what it tells me. That you went into this not saying what kind of story that they're telling, what are they doing. You already had preconceived notions. You already had a bias. You already had a prejudice from the jump. So no matter what it did, no matter how awesome it could have been, you've already done with the story, right? It's already done with the story. This is just from this particular one person. You know what I mean? And again, we don't know exactly what's going on, because the story of Darth Plagueis was told in the Revenge of the Sith. Now, I don't know everything about Star Wars, but I do know that. You know what I mean? And a way for, and I wonder, is the story going to tell you the way the midichlorians work, whatever, the Immaculate Conception? I wonder, are they going to tell you that? You know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know, because we only on episode 3. So we don't know. It's hinted to. There again, we're looking at a perspective or either May or UC, but we don't know what the hell is going on. Because even I was like, wait a minute, if these sisters were so badass and they was using the Force, they were doing Jedi Kung Fu training, why the hell they all dead? Who killed them? It's a mystery now. So I'm more intrigued with the mystery than to see, they're like, wait a minute, how they die? You know what I'm saying? What is the mystery? What is going on? Can we see more of it before we get there? You know what I mean? So again, this is, this goes on. Let's see. This is, I was trying to read some, this is a lot going on. All right. I just want to read somebody who actually has, as far as the plot, has nothing to do with the people that's there, not the women, not the gays, not nothing. Because again, everything is not a push or order, because there's gay people out here. Golly, some of y'all need to get over that. You know what I'm saying? There's black people over here. Golly, just get over that. There's Asian people out here. Golly, there's other people out here besides white folks. You know what I mean? So come on. You know what I mean? All the stuff that I really hear just here in my comment section is ridiculous. You know what I mean? But anyway, all right. So I'm trying to see, there was a dark side of first and foremost, the plot is a convoluted mess. In episode 3, for instance, the story takes an unexpected detour into a subplot involving a political dispute on a distant planet that feels completely disconnected from the main narrative. The subplot is given an entire episode, but adds nothing of value to the overarching story. By episode 6, the plot attempts to tie together too many loose ends in a hurry and a confusing. How do you know what's going on in episode 6? Unless you watch this whole entire series and we don't know anything about, because episode 6 is not even there yet. So I don't know. Again, this person said, I loved it. The world building and storytelling hit all the right spots for me. And I love the idea of a murder mystery being solved within Star Wars setting. That's the way I looked at it. Like this person looked, a murder mystery. What is going on? Why did, are we seeing this from the perspective of May? Did May really set the fire and not what is really going on? There's a lot of things that I'm more intrigued about. And if this is a galaxy far, far away, and the universe, spans to the outer regions and all this other stuff, then what is the difference between this show and the Mandalorian? Well, not the Mandalorian, got a little bit more lore, but what's the difference between this show and and its storytelling compared to other stories that tells another story about, it has nothing to do with the Skywalkers, the Lukes, all of this stuff. Like, I'm trying to find the difference between it, because I'm more interested in if this dark Sith Lord is in the dark side, way, way, way in the cut, and this happens to be Dark Plagueis Wise, then shit, I'm for it, because we already heard about this Sith Lord years ago. So who is it, and what does he have to do with the story if he's a part of this story? And if he end up tied into the story, it did everybody like, well, you know what? Well, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing. You know what I mean? But see, okay, so I'm gonna get off of this in just a second, but let's just okay, so nope, nada. This doesn't feel anything like Star Wars. Bland, boring, and unappealing. Most of the characters aren't captivated either, save for Saul, played by Ling Jong-jae, who was decent at least. He portrays a wise, kind Jedi, which I want to see more of him. However, Saul appears to be the only important and intriguing male character who you think plays a major role in the story, but instead pushed aside by strong-willed female characters. Are you see, now when I said this in my review, when I said this, when people automatically go to either their sexuality or their gender, they're already checked out. You know what I'm saying? I'm already checked out. So because what it does is that it automatically, again, this automatically tells me that you had a bias. You know what I'm saying? You already had a bias right here. You already had a bias. So when you give this a 1, you found every excuse, because there's, to me, this to me, you found every excuse to put this here, right? Not the what you have a problem with the overall what I can call her Uzi or Osha is Oshi or Osha. But what you already told me that immediately I have no bearings on this story whatsoever, because you made all these women folks. I don't want to see it. Too many strong-willed women folks and not enough, men in here. Where's the men at? You know what I mean? Like this is just me. So I'm going to switch gears for a minute and change over to this Forbes article written by Paul Tassi. And the Acolyte's 50% audience score is embarrassing for the audience scores. So again, 84% is the score for the critics, and 50% is the score for the audience. So again, I think two things can, like I said, I still think two things can be true. They can be review bombing, which clearly it is. There's not even, it's not even a hint of it now. I know it was a lot of review bombing, but I also believe that the story, because some people they say it's not Star Wars because a murder mystery is not part of Star Wars. You know what I mean? Star Wars is normally straightforward in the storytelling. But if you watch a lot of samurai movies, a lot of the samurai movies are not straightforward also, and it's a lot of murder mysteries in that too, but you won't see that if you're not used to this particular storytelling in this particular genre. So it could look convoluted. It could look, I don't think it's boring, because I think the book of Boba Fett, oh my God, there was some shit on the book of Boba Fett. I'm like, what in the, and the fat man is a guy. That's Boba Fett. But, oh, good God, was Boba Fett a hard watch. A very hard watch. You know what I mean? So, whew. And if you like the book of Boba Fett, cool. But the book of Boba Fett was, oh, Jesus, Lord have mercy. I was like, it didn't make any sense at the end. Like that was bad. You know what I mean? That was bad. It did not get the hate that this is getting. So I know it's more than just the story, the writing, the acting. I know it's more than that. You cannot tell me anything different at all. Because if you think this ain't Star Wars, what the hell is the book of Boba Fett? What the hell was that? Anyway, let's get to it. While Star Wars had many controversies in the Disney era, viewers have now mobilized a fleet of TIE bombers to obliterate user scores of the Acolyte whenever possible, namely on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. This is my first time reading this, like on Everything I Love. This is my first time reading that, and they're actually saying exactly what I just said, that I believe is being review bombed. You know what I mean? And now again, I'm just reading this for the first time, so bear with me. I previously reported that this started right at release of the Acolytes. Quickly, right at the release, didn't give it. So now I know. You can't tell me anything different. All the people who was coming in, you know what I mean, on the video that I did when I was like, they hate us. You know what I mean? You immediately destroyed this because you didn't like who was the lead. You didn't like who was there. You know what I mean? You didn't like it. You know what I mean? You didn't like these strong-willed women, which again, I'm watching House of the Dragon, and there's two strong-willed women in there, but nobody's saying that about the women in Westeros. They're not saying that about the women in the House of the Dragon. You know what I mean? It is, you know, and there's more than one strong-willed woman in there, but nobody is saying this about them. But you see here, and all of a sudden, at the beginning of the episode, is already at the beginning of the series, it was already a problem. So don't tell me that, oh, this is just this, that, no. This is some bull crap. This is some bull crap. And Star Wars fans should be ashamed of themselves for this, because you're not giving the show a chance. You're automatically destroying it for no apparent reason whatsoever. But women is on there, and the women on there so happen to also be a women of color, and they're original characters. So everything that I said in my video, in my small video, was correct. And I didn't do a ton of research. Not a ton, just a few. Just going on Twitter and be like, damn, they hate this show. Let me go and just make a video real quick. This is giving more prevalence to it. Let me keep going. I previously reported that this started right at the release of the Acolyte, quickly becoming the lowest audience rated Star Wars project besides the infamous holiday special, which was trash, garbage pail juice. Star Wars projected, besides the infamous now its former 33% score has dipped below the special's 20% score, is all the way down to 15%. At a certain point, this is just absurd, and it says a lot more about the viewers than it does the quality of the show itself, which has barely even got started, now just 3 episodes in. No, I am not going to entertain a debate that this is not review bombing. A 50% score is barely more than a third of the last more controversial Disney project, The Last Jedi. None is even close except the holiday special on IMDb. Is even easier to see. A full 54% of all viewers are 1 star, giving it a 3.6 out of 10. You see it, and this is what you see right here. There's also how hold on, wait a minute. There's also how fast this happened. For instance, Ahsoka only had 5,000 reviews in on Rotten Tomatoes after being out a month, while The Acolyte has aired 3 episodes in 2 weeks and has received 10,000 reviews. It has 10,000 reviews in. The last season of The Mandalorian only had 2,500 reviews. The beloved Andor had 5,000 reviews in total years later. Rotten Tomatoes had previously tried to curb review bombing in the wake of what happened with Captain Marvel's release, verifying that people had watched the movie before reviewing it. But there's no way to enforce such a system with TV, so here we are. Why is this happening? There are a bunch of dimensions to this, and none of them are good. There is absolutely a racial and gender component to this. This is my first time reading this. This is my first time. I put this on my kids. This is my first time reading this, and it said exactly what I said in my video. And had people argue with me in my comment section, and I'm like, you cannot tell me that y'all don't like the show based on the people who are on the show. It has nothing to do with anything. As soon as you seen a black lead on there, as soon as you seen a black sister who was a mother, the mother on there, and then she so happens to maybe have a relationship with a woman on there. I don't know. There's a bunch of women in there, and I guarantee you, a bunch of women in there, one of them gonna have a relationship with the other one. It ain't no difference than a bunch of dudes in jail. Somebody's let me shut up. Let me shut up. It's a warrior in there. It's a warrior, so somebody giving up some booty. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. So it's not at the realm. It's almost like it's not at the realm of possibilities that these things can exist. But when you do, when you automatically come in here and you don't even give it 2 weeks and you already killed it, I already know what it is. You can't tell me nothing different. You cannot tell me nothing different. And because it's Star Wars, and again, because it's Star Wars and it has a beloved fan base, sometimes a toxic fan base, no different than DC. You know, I mean, Marvel can get kind of toxic too. Because, you know, even, you know, when else to recast T'Challa, you know, sometimes it can go a little, it's certain people, not saying everybody, you know, and it's always like the small crowd is the loudest. Well, the small crowd here mobilized IMDb, mobilized Rotten Tomato, and basically destroyed this show. And I don't think it's nowhere close. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it's nowhere close as bad as people say it is. Again, Book of Boba Fett, garbage pail juice. This, watchable. At least I'm into it, and I don't even know what's going on. You know what I mean? I don't know what it. I don't know anything about the Old Republic for what I've heard. You know what I mean? What I've heard. But this here, you can't tell me nothing different. All right, I'm sorry. Kind of go on my rants. You know what I mean? But anyway, what is happening? There's a bunch of dimensions to this, and none of them good. There's absolutely a racial and gender component to this. A clip from Star Wars, Amanda Stilberg, about making white people cry. If that could be it. And remember I said 2 things could be true. Now, shout out to Chillmonger, because Chillmonger talked about this, about Amanda Sandberg, you know, isolating the fandom. And what pisses me off about this, because again, you have created characters, brand new storyline, brand new everything, and because Amanda Sandberg comes out and says this, pisses off your white fans. So sometimes, Amanda, I'm just being honest. Here's a interesting idea. If you want stuff to work, probably shutting the flub up. Sometimes you just got to shut the flub up. You can't say stuff like this, because no different than what I felt about She-Hulk, you're going to isolate your audience. So no matter how good the show is, once you isolate that portion of your audience, because 74% of white people go and watch Star Wars movies. If most of them are white men, then here we go. They're going to see this. They're automatically going to think agenda, because there's so many YouTubers and so many people out here, no different than Firecracker from the boys, saying, "Oh, they don't want the white, you know, they don't want strong white leads up in here." When I'm literally seeing the difference. I'm seeing a difference. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't see a whole lot of strong black leads. You know what I'm saying? But that's what they tell you. There's an agenda. They don't want you here. You know, we're making this for the non-fans, so here we go. And those white men are going to say that I'm taking back my Star Wars, and the only way they can do it, review bomb the shit out of it. Now, just say for instance, for the sake of argument, if black people did this for Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and we talked about how they didn't like to, we didn't like Shuri as Black Panther, we like T'Challa. You know what they would be calling us right now? I mean, it was already called misogynistic, and we can't see a female Black Panther. All of it. I don't see the same energy. I don't see the same energy. Matter of fact, we didn't even review bomb it. We just said recast T'Challa, and we were already hated. I don't see the same energy for the sisters being on here. You know what I mean? And what's going on with the actual story and why they're review bombing this. Again, I don't know how many the number of black people who watch the show, who watch Star Wars and big Star Wars fans. But when you say shit like this, you're isolating your fans. You know what I mean? You can't do that. Okay, so let me get back to it. A clip from star Amanda Stenberg about making white people cry was shared tens of thousands of times online, taken out of context from an interview years earlier about the film. The Hate You Give. Showrunner Leslie Headland has starred in many YouTube thumbnails that based in the woke nature of the series, but also it allegedly breaking canon. This is the main reason for the surge since episode 3 aired, where fans believe the show has broken canon or destroyed the lore of Anakin Skywalker by implying that, like Anakin, the twins are a virgin force birth. Anakin was conceived purely through the Force alone, part of his chosen one mythology. And now they're saying that it's happened again, ruining everything. The problem is we simply have no idea if that's true. Even if that was that's what everyone is assuming after last week. Specifically, while this is saying the girls have no father, it is implied that their mother did something unnatural to create them, which would not be a spontaneous forced baby situation. Dark side meddling, witch magic cloning, we simply do not know yet. But that has not stopped fans from leaping into the conclusions and saying that in 3.5-hour episode that the series has destroyed 50 years of canon. There's also been a pushback about the portrayal of the Jedi as not great, acting as space cops, running up Force-sensitive kids to test the train, not by abducting them per se, but luring them away from their families for their own good, which is what happened to Osha and sparked the events that led to the death of her family and community. Of course, the concept of the Jedi as rulers has dealt with this topic many times over the years, most famously in the prequels, where the arrogant, clueless Jedi Council actions and lack thereof directly led to an imperial takeover of the galaxy, which I talked about earlier. The Jedi Order is always been like, I don't know, because you could have you had Anakin right there, and then you turned him to the dark side. I'm just saying. The 50% score is embarrassing, not for the show, but for those review bombing it to frankly laughable degrees. I'm not even the Acolyte biggest fan, as the first 2 episodes I did not love, though I thought episode 3 was more interesting. But the worst Star Wars project by an order of magnitude in the history of the series, it just so happened to be one mostly starring black women. Again, this first time reading it, but this is the same things that I was saying. The whole situation is a parody of the modern toxic fan base of the series, and if you want to disguise it as being upset about canon, then it shows a distant lack of understanding of both the material of the show and the wider universe. You can critique a show, sure, but overwhelmingly is just not what's happening here, and it goes well beyond that. While we have seen many things like this happen with Star Wars fandom over the years, I can't help but to feel like it's absolutely getting worse. All right, so I'm going to take that down here. And that's basically what I was saying. I was saying that to me, there is it justified hate? No, it's not justified. The score is too low to be justified hate. The score is way too low to be justified hate. And to me, because of things from the fandom, and again, the fandom is very toxic. The fandom is very toxic. I think when me and Chillmonger and I used to go on the Star when he was doing the Saturday show, and when we do Star Wars, I just had to sit. Sometimes I would sit there and listen, because the arguments get ready to come. Because I'm looking at it from not being so embedded in the lore so much that I'm enjoying it, and you got people that's so embedded in the lore that they're not enjoying it. You know what I mean? And again, I look at stuff in a story. The way that I critique any show is story first. What is the story actually trying to tell me? First. Secondly, I'm looking at the acting. How is the acting? What is it making me feel? You know what I mean? And that's the thing about performance. Is what does the show, what does the actors, what does these things make me feel while I'm watching it? Am I enjoying it while I'm watching these things? And do I even care about these characters at the end of it? That's what it makes me feel. And in this first 3 episodes, I was more intrigued with the story. Because I'm looking, I'm like, wait a minute. This doesn't make sense because we're getting her side of the story, but that doesn't make sense because this, I'm like, holy crap, I wonder is there going to make a twist out of this? We're looking at a perspective, but this perspective is actually not for the person we think it is. You know what I mean? And that's what I liked about it. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, make sure you hit that like button. Go ahead, man, get into the conversation. Give me a thumbs up. But let me just share this real quick, and I'm going to wrap this up. Because let's talking about the Jedi Order, which I've been saying this since the Clone Wars. Because I think the Jedi Order is sometimes yeah, man, the Jedi Order be pissing me off with them Jedi Knights. Star Wars just suddenly confirmed the Jedi Order's greatest flaw, pride. Star Wars, The Acolyte, Episode 3, suddenly confirmed that the Jedi's most impactful fatal flaw, their pride. The Jedi Order has, throughout its history, been an undeniable force for good in the galaxy by helping those in need and reaching out to the communities left behind, especially during the High Republic era, and the era of Star Wars timeline set a few centuries before the prequel trilogy. The Jedi submitted themselves as protectors of the galaxy. During this time, they were, by and large, peacekeepers, but that doesn't mean the Order wasn't already flawed and becoming even more so. Star Wars prequel trilogy was a study of all that was wrong with the Jedi Order. By that time, they had retreated from the galaxy, and they feared the dark side. They feared the dark side rather than seeing it as a natural part of the Force, because you do have to have dark and light. You do yin and yang. You have to have both sides, and yet, despite these issues, the Jedi still saw themselves as the ultimate protectors of the light, sure that their knowledge and experience will protect them from the darkness. Of course, they were ultimately and tragically proven wrong. However, their pridefulness manifested in many ways, and one moment in The Acolyte is a perfect example. Soul's words to Osha hit at the greatest Jedi flaw. In The Acolyte episode, Season 3, Destiny, 4 Jedi encounter a coven of forces, the witches, on the planet Brendok. A coven which includes twin girls, Osha and May, who are both sensitive to the Force as well. Once she meets the Jedi, Osha is immediately excited about the prospect of joining them and seeing the galaxy. Trying to support Osha's excitement, Jedi Master Soul says to her, "I knew I was different from my family." The Jedi saw how special I was and explains that he chose to join the Jedi when he was only 4 years old. If the Jedi view their connection with the Force and their role as a Jedi as being special when compared to other beings, how can they possibly serve them fairly and effectively? They are biased as hell. The Jedi is always looked at themselves as superior because, oh, we'll help you out. You know what I'm saying? But give me your kid at 4, and we're gonna train him in the way of Force and be a part of his cult. I'm sorry, that's the way I look at it. I've always looked at that. And maybe I'm wrong. Y'all can tell me I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. But I always looked at the Jedi Order like that. Considering the wording, though, it's always special in comparison to his family, then that makes it seem as though his family was somehow inferior. It's my first time reading this, y'all. Perhaps Soul didn't mean anything by it and was just trying to forge a connection with a curiously frightened child. It does speak to a larger issue with the Jedi, however. If they view their connection with the Force and their role as Jedi as being special when compared to other beings, then how can they possibly serve them fairly and effectively? Pride in one ability can easily become something more sinister. The Jedi forgot their purpose was to serve the people. At some point between the High Republic era and the Skywalker saga, the Jedi forgot that their main purpose was to serve and protect all luminous life, regardless of their connection to the Force or their standing in the galaxy. During the High Republic, the Jedi were scattered on hundreds of planets, leading to aid to those in need and expecting nothing in return. Hundreds of years later, the Jedi was beholden to the will of the government and their fears. They no longer served the people simply because they wanted to. They served the people only when they absolutely needed to. The Jedi Order overall's pride was an indelible part of their downfall. They couldn't see past their successes in 1,000-year history and let their arrogance blind them to the truth. Yet the moment in the Acolyte proves, however subtly, that this was happening on an individual level as well. If every Jedi saw their connection to the Force as something inherently special, despite them being thousands of Jedi and plenty of other Force sensitives from other cultures and the galaxy, then the collective was never going to fare much better. Star Wars: The Acolyte is slowly setting up the Jedi Order's tragic future. And that is the end of that. And again, I seen this alone. Me and my brother talked about this. I was like, yo, think about it for just a second. In the Revenge of the Sith, which is my favorite Star Wars movie of all time. This is my favorite because it makes a lot of sense. When you have the Jedi Council looking at Anakin Skywalker, who literally was called the Chosen One way back when Qui-Gon Jinn found him, you know what I'm saying, along with Obi-Wan Kenobi, all you had to do was make him a Jedi Master. He already had a Padawan who was going on to be bigger, for bigger or better things. All you had to do was make that happen. You know what I'm saying? But y'all were so scared and so sensitive to try to protect the order instead of making this man a master. You literally set him up. Man, Palpatine came in like a pimp. Hey, cuz, let me holler. He came in like Snoop Dogg. Hey, cuz, let me holler at you for a second, cuz. Hey, the Jedi ain't doing you right though, cuz. I already know. I see him in the background. But you know what? Let me tell you about Darth Plagueis the Wise, though. He has something similar to what you got going on. So you got Padme, and you should love her. Cuz I love my woman too. I ain't gonna tell you who it is until I return as a clone. But still, though, you should go ahead and lead this order and turn to the dark side. Matter of fact, when Count Dooku come in, I want you to do this for me. Cut his head off. Now do it. I love it. I love it. But I never felt the Jedi. I always felt like the Jedi was a cult. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm gonna get to some of the stuff that y'all said here in a minute. Remember, Dre Mack, until Darth Bane came along, the Sith were Legion until Bane rule of 2. So don't go thinking you could be a Sith. Sith, it kill or be killed, survival of the fittest. I'm cool with that too. Let's get it in. You know what I mean? I haven't watched the Acolyte yet, but I plan to just when every episode is out so I can binge it. I feel that. What's up, Sleep Animation? What's up? I'm going to keep watching. I'm going to keep watching it. I gotta see what's in the end. I didn't. I'm not even reviewing it because I'm still the boys. Them dropping the first 3 episodes was hard for me. You know what I mean? That was hard. You know what I mean? And I couldn't show what I wanted to show. Hell, they just got me on House of the Dragon. YouTube did. You know what I mean? It is something bad about it, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? They gave me the yellow money sign, but whatever. But yeah, I just seen it. Yeah, I seen that in yeah. Okay, yeah. We'll see. We'll see. The biggest villains in Star Wars is the Phantom Menace. That's funny. Brie Larson comes to mind. The Phantom is the worst in my opinion. B. Arthur and Jefferson's Starship killed it on the Christmas special. They do give out screeners. Priest Dre Mac. Do folks get screeners for Star? If you got a big enough channel, you do. But you only get like the first 3 episodes or something like that, and then the rest of it you got to watch with everybody else. It's like leaving a movie with a. It's like leaving a movie with a 4-year-old. Who did you like in the movie, little guy? The boy character. That's funny. Yeah, and called it. Oh no, wait a minute. Most folks are mad that Ocean and May were conceived by the Force. Folks believe that make etiquette less special, and called it a threat. I don't think. I honestly don't think that she was made. There's something else going on, and I believe because cloning was so big, not only in the prequel series because of the Clone Wars, but also with Palpatine coming back. So I think they're cloned. I think they're cloned. It was in you know what I'm saying, by using dark force magic. You know what I mean? That would explain why Palpatine returned. You know what I mean? Nobody's gonna talk about the deep from the boys being race swapped from black to white, or how Black Noir is a clone of Homelander who went from white to black. But because nobody knows about that show, you know what I mean? I mean, knew about the how can I say this? About the boys comic, you know. So I don't know. So anyway, let me go ahead and start wrapping this thing up. I was trying to get to some of you guys' comments here. This seems to be the era of Darth Xanath or Darth Cognis. I don't know who anybody is. It won't be Plagueis. Plagueis was Sidious Master, but ain't he like super old? Justin Timberlake. Yeah, he just got arrested for DUI, I believe. It came up on my iPad. Like it literally came up not too long ago. But yeah, Justin Timberlake has been arrested for driving while intoxicated in the Hamptons. A law enforcement told ABC News, he'll be all right. He got arrested in the Hamptons. He'll be just perfectly fine. You know, he won't be canceled. He won't, or nothing like that. Ain't got nothing to worry about. All right, if you can check out Dark Plagueis' audiobook, well worth the listen. I need to get into audiobooks. I think I listened to a few audio books. I'm not a fan. That's cool. Princess Leia is a hero. Marcia Lucas got the Academy Award for New Hope. What's up, Dr. Hines? What's going on? Oh, I thought I said morning, Dre. Love your balanced perspective so far. Thank you. Like I said, I think two things could be true. I think people are reviewing bombing it because they see all these black folks on here and they don't like it. Especially strong black women. Oh, hell no. You know what I'm saying? Hell no. Unless this movie is called Mermaid, I don't want to watch this. And I also think that there's some storytelling that people are not used to, which makes it hard to be able to follow if you're a Star Wars fan and not used to that particular type of storytelling. So I believe that can be true. If it's not a wasp male in the lead role, they will trash it. but I was grown, and way into politics. Anyway, okay. That's why the Jedi didn't feel Palpatine when he was in the same room. It's Darth Vader was the apprentice of Darth Bane. Darth Bane lived way before the events of the Acolyte. Okay, now I'm confused. I don't. Was anyone else started when you saw Laz Alonso in the first episode of The Boys? I wasn't. And it was made clear that he has some traits in his some history traits that in his DNA where he was too big and other things was going to affect his health. So he lost the weight to, you know what I'm saying, to his health. But I didn't like the people talking about him. Like, I mean, I did that during the pandemic. I made a joke, you know what I'm saying, about Chadwick Boseman. And then when he passed away, I cried because I made that joke. And I was like, damn, I would never do that again. Because you never know what somebody is going through. And Laz came out and said why he did it. You know what I'm saying? Why he lost the weight. He's perfectly fine. He just wanted to be healthier. He's always been a big, strong dude anyway for years. I've been a fan of his for years. Since this movie called Q. You know what I mean? Been a fan of his for years. So he's always been a big, cocky, strong dude. But if you got stuff that's in your system that could affect you, can be cancerous, whatever, you're trying to curb those things early, that's what you do. If you got to lose the weight, you got to lose the weight. You know what I'm saying? But he's still mother's milk. I just don't like the fact he don't have his full beard no more. He got the CIA mustache. I don't like that. But anyway, to me, like I said, I'm gonna keep watching the show. But what you guys think? Put it in the comment section below, and please hit that like button.
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
All right, gotta wrap it up because I gotta go out here and cut grass. Anyway, thank you so very much for tuning in to another episode of the Dre Max Show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that bell notification so you can never, ever, ever miss one of my videos again. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Where's my outro at? Go Celtics. We are the champions, my friends.
Wait a minute. You're telling me the video's over?
What?
Okay, I guess so. If you have came to this portion of the video, thank you so very much for sticking to the end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification so you never miss one of my videos. And if you really want to, you don't got to, go ahead and follow the social media links that's down below. Until next time, I'll let you guys later. Peace and vibe higher, y'all. Y'all take care of yourself.